I don't know why y'all so shocked that Monique decided to vent out in the way she did on her recent comedy show in Detroit. Um, I'm definitely Team Monique because because it was obviously a build up thing. And I think that Monique actually tried to lay low with this whole situation with DL Hughley. But because if you listen to the video, it was a build up. It was a build up. And I think that Monique was more so upset that DL Hughley, from what it sounded like she said it on the video, that he sat at her table. So I'm assuming that maybe he came to her house, ate at her house, you know what I'm saying? And then he turns around and I guess turned on her. You know how it is, like when you're in school, and how if somebody starts picking on a particular person, if they're, if a lot of people or some people are friends with that person, sometimes they'll like literally turn their back on that person who's being picked on. And that's just the truth. And so I think that, it's possible that DL Hughley kind of jumped on that bandwagon. And when Monique got, allegedly blackballed, or what seemed to be blackballed, I think he probably jumped on the bandwagon, and then what it seems that he turned on Monique as well. And so it sounded like the first incident that had occurred was when he said that, Monique, nobody's gonna, cancel their Netflix for you. And oddly enough, I actually was about to sign up with Netflix at that time. And I decided not to once all that mess was going on with her and Netflix. Because I do believe that, if somebody is being done unjustly, the problem with us is that we don't stick by each other when somebody has been done wrong or somebody has been locked up, even though they have been, somebody else has been found guilty, but they put that charge on another person, and then that person been locked up for life. And so, and we can know that a person has been wrongly convicted, and we'll still keep right on living our lives instead of banding together to help that person in their situation so it won't happen again. But I digress, and let me get back on track. So that was the first situation. The second situation, it sounded like DL Hughley had, when she was on a radio show, and they asked her about playing that game, Would You Rather? And the question was posed, would you rather have protected sex with Lee Daniels or unprotected sex with Corinne Steffen? And so either way, that's very disrespectful. I would never ask somebody that. That's just so degrading and so disrespectful on so many levels. I would have never even came out my mouth as a grown person or a young person and asked a married woman that particular question, or anyone for that matter. But that just goes to show you the childishness this among us. But anyways, and that was the second incident. And then the third incident sounded like what occurred with the lineup of the show and who was going to be the headliner for this particular comedy show. It sounds like it was some behind the scenes mess that occurred, because it sounds like one person was given the impression from the contract that they were headlining. The other person wasn't in agreement with who was headlining the show, and he probably said that he was going to pull out of the show if he wasn't going to be headlining the show. And so maybe they redid his contract and made it look like he was going to be headlining, but he really wasn't. And then they just left Monique's contract as it was. So she was given the impression that she was headlining the show. But whatever the case, I think that she was just fed up with the fact that DL Hughley kept right on like disrespecting her or saying different things that, that she didn't like or whatever, for him to have at one point been cool with her and ate at his table. And DL Hughley, in recent years, a lot of people have kind of been side-eyeing him, even when that incident had occurred when he collapsed on stage. It's possible that he really did, pass out from the COVID situation, but the shit looked fake to a lot of people, is what a lot of people were saying. But whatever the case, he really could have had passed out, but it was just odd that, that he passed out at that particular time while he was doing an actual show. It seemed like maybe he would have like just either not did the show, or he would have like passed out that night when he was by himself or something like that. But whatever the case, it happened while he was actually doing the show and doing stand up. So maybe he kind of wanted to cancel the show and felt too weak to do so or whatever. So he had to show or put on a display, maybe allegedly, that, he was too week or whatever to finish out the comedy show or that segment. But whatever the case, Monique felt like she needed to vent out in that way. I don't blame her. I don't doubt her. One thing that really irritates me is when people feel, especially black people, they always want to try to put a muzzle over somebody's mouth and control their actions and what they do. But in their real life, they cause all kinds of bull crap. Okay. But when they do it, it's okay. But when somebody else do it, it's, oh, well, you're just getting back out here. We don't want you to mess that up. That, trust and believe, Monique took all that into consideration when she came out and said what she said on that show. If she don't care, why should we? If you don't like her, stop listening to her. If you ain't feeling her, don't buy her ticket. It's that simple. People are always trying to control the narrative. Oh, don't do this and don't do that, and we're not doing this and we're not doing that. It's like, just shut up. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. That might be true, but stop always trying to control what somebody says and what somebody does. If she felt like she needed to say that at that time, so be it. Monique allegedly have been blackballed in some of everything in the industry. If she ain't stunting what come out her mouth that could potentially hinder her career, then why should we? She paying her own bills and you paying yours. So if she want to do that and she want to behave like that and she want to get up there and vent out and let everybody know, honey, we here for it. Because if y'all wasn't here for it, you wouldn't have tuned into it. Okay? And they've been talking about the same thing on all the blogs. So, it is what it is. She said what she had to say. You know what I'm saying? It's probably maybe not over, not over with as of right now. But in my opinion, DL Hughley's response was kind of like stupid, because he was saying, oh, you had a problem with this person, that person, that person, whatever. But, Monique does not come for people unless they come after her. It's that simple. So if somebody somebody like a Steve Harvey gonna say what he said on her show, which he looked at like she said, a coon ass nigga, and he did. If anybody saw when Monique was on Steve Harvey's show, he looked like a coon ass nigga. Then the motherfucker ended up losing the show. Then she got on the show, got interviewed by Charlamagne the God. He ended up looking like a bitch ass nigga. And then what happened with him? Those allegations started coming out of nowhere, and he got into it with Kwame Brown. Okay, and then Steve Harvey, he started losing his shows and all that kind of crap. And then Lee Daniels, allegedly, it was some kind of ties that he had to Jesse Smollett that kind of brought his career down a little bit. So, Tyler Perry is still doing good. Oprah's still doing good, but only time will tell. So, if she want to, I think she did try to, like she said on the video, give it to God and let it go when he came against her in the past. And then I think that that third time when he said what he said about him not doing it, if she gonna be headlining or whatever, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I do believe it was some instigation that was going on behind the scenes as to how Monique even found out that he said that. Somebody had to come back and tell her that. So I don't know. It sounds like it was a bunch of confusion, and I think this was something that was kind of like provoked, because DL Hughley naturally would, being who he is, would naturally get mad if Monique is headlining the show over him. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure ego played a huge part in this situation as to why all this mess came about in the first place. But like I said, I do believe this was a build-up process. I believe that this was just something that Monique felt like she couldn't just ignore another time. And she just was like, like, you know what, when I get out here, I'm going to let people know how I feel. I need to get this off my chest, because a lot of times you can forgive somebody quicker when you vent out about it as opposed to holding it on the inside. And she had been apparently she had been holding it in, how she felt about DL Hughley for a long time. And like I said, you know, DL Hughley, a lot of people don't really look at him the same because of different things that have occurred with I think even something, I could be wrong, but I think it was even something that had happened with one of his kids when he came out recently allegedly and said that somebody had did something, you know, to one, I believe it was something sexually that somebody did with one of his kids. And I think he said out his own mouth that he didn't even believe his own child. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube still. So a lot of people kind of start side-eyeing him then, you know what I'm saying? And then I think that happened before he fell out on stage. So maybe he kind of was hoping to get some compassion from people when he had collapsed on stage. So I don't know. But whatever the case, you know, we do need to stop always trying to control the narrative and how somebody acts and what they want to say out their own mouth. I'm pretty sure Monique is well aware that whatever comes out her mouth could definitely hinder whatever she tries to do in the future. But at the same time, if Monique is getting ready to play in a movie and she's going to be on tour doing these comedy shows, trust and believe this is going to boost ticket sales. And I believe the people behind the scenes know or knew that the beef between them two was going to make the ticket sales go up. And a lot of people didn't even know they were even on tour. I know I didn't, but now you know, and now you're probably going to buy tickets. Okay? So, anyways, thank you so much for watching my video. Please give it a like and subscribe, because I'm going to have more videos coming your way. All right, bye.